Pardon me if you'd like. Would you like to go out drinking?
Is this your first time hitting on a woman?
Yes.
Sure, let's go together.
I succeeded in hitting on a woman in a stroke of beginner's luck, but...
Yesterday was a really wonderful night, wasn't it?
What?
Well then, let's begin the interview.
The next day, the woman in charge of interviewing me for my next job was the woman that I hit on last night? Is this fate, or is it...
Hey, Toru. Long time no see.
Oh, Miss Yamaguchi. Thank you so much for going out of your way. My name is Toru Komatsu. I'm a 22-year-old senior in college. I was having a hard time finding a job for next year, and so far, I haven't gotten any offers. That's why I reached out to Miss Yamaguchi, who was the senior of my after-school club before, but...
I see. I can understand why you would panic without any offers at this point.
Yes. Tomorrow's my interview for my dream job, and so, I want to ask you for advice.
How did you pass the interview for Haha Nebo Cosmetics, which is such a top-class company?
Miss Yamaguchi went on to explain everything really properly to me, but the deciding factor was...
And finally, I guess I hit on people.
Huh? Hit on?
It's always been a strategy from the old days to get better at sales pitches. You know, talking to people that you don't know and not being thrown off by a cold response. Sales and hitting on someone have a lot in common.
I see.
And plus, it's also a good way to work on how you can get the other person interested in you.
I'm just going to put this out there, though. All you have to do is stand there, and anybody would be interested in you?
You think so? Thanks.
I wonder how many men this person has hit on until now. However, there was some logic to what she was saying. Miss Yamaguchi was working at a major cosmetics company in their sales department, and despite being a new employee, her sales record was already second in the company. She was somebody that already produced results in a sales position, which is what I wanted to do. Thank you very much, Miss Yamaguchi. I'm gonna do my best to hit on someone.
Yeah, wait, is that the right goal?
And so, I took a step out into the town at night in order to hit on some girls, but... excuse me, can you please help me?
Do you need some money? Wait a minute. Please, let me take out my coin purse.
No, I'm hitting on you. As you can see, nobody was getting on board. Not only that, but they would all shower me with dirty words and run away. I felt like I was going to crumble many times, but I continued on from woman to woman. And then, when I got to the 14th person, finally... Excuse me, if you'd like, would you like to go out for a drink?
Me? But I'm an old lady. Are you sure it's okay?
Old lady? No way! You're the most beautiful out of all the women I've seen until now.
That's nice to hear, but you may have been overdoing it. You should keep the flattery a little bit more mild.
Is that so? But that's really how I felt.
Are you the type that doesn't know how to lie?
Yes, I get that a lot.
Wait a minute. Is this your first time hitting on someone?
Yes.
Are you still in college?
Yes, I am, but... Wait a minute. Before I knew it, she's become the conductor.
Sure, let's go together.
What? Are you sure it's okay?
Yeah, I don't know, but you seem interesting, and I'm curious.
Yes. Thank you very much.
What's the matter? Do you not know how to drink much?
No, it's just that it's my first time coming to a fancy place like this, and I'm nervous.
You should let go of some of that stress. This is a place where you can just drink and have fun.
It was actually less about the place and more that Miss Erika was so beautiful that I was nervous. I never could have imagined that my beginner's luck would land on a beautiful woman like this. About an hour after we started drinking together,
So how many girls have you dated until now?
About that, actually, nobody yet.
And yet you are hitting on a woman. That's quite a big step, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, there was a reason for that. I talked to her about how I wanted a job at sales, and that I had an interview for my dream job tomorrow.
I see. So it's not like you were actually after me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I like you.
What? What do you mean you like me?
After talking to you, I can see that you're an honest person, Toru.
I see. Although there are times that it doesn't work in my favor.
The righteous are fools. Is that the fault of the honest people?
I don't know. But I do think the person to fool people are wrong.
Exactly. That's why I like you, Toru.
When Miss Eriko smiled, she was really beautiful, and I'd completely fallen for her. She was a mature adult, an older, beautiful woman that I couldn't find any faults on. She did say that she's currently looking for a boyfriend, so,
Well then, thank you for today.
Miss Eriko?
What's the matter?
I'm going to do my best in the interview tomorrow, and if I pass, when that happens,
When that happens, what?
will you please go out with me? Officially?
What?
I swear, I'll become a man worthy of you, so please! In the beginning, I was only hitting on her for the sake of my interview, and since she knew that, I was sure that she was going to say no, but
Really? You would do that for me?
yes, I promise!
All right. Well then, if your interview goes well, then...
Thank you so much! And so, my relationship status was placed on hold, and we exchanged phone numbers and went home. That night, when I informed Miss Yamaguchi about what happened, she was shocked.
I didn't think that you would actually hit on somebody, and then even ask them out. But looks like it went well. Good luck on your interview tomorrow.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to do my best at the interview tomorrow. The next day, I had arrived at Canon Trading Company. In this hometown, it was one of the most famous trading companies. They were also known for being one of the hardest companies to get a job with, and that alone made my knees buckle. But it's going to be fine. I made that promise to Miss Eriko yesterday, so I need to be confident and sell myself. For the first round interview, it was one-on-one style, but I had more motivation than usual, and finally, my interview number was called, and... What?
Well then, we're going to begin the interview.
What? Wait, why is my interviewer Miss Eriko? I was so thrown off by the curveball that my mind went completely blank.
You know you don't need to be so nervous.
Yes, ma'am. Calm down. Deep breath. Even if this is Miss Eriko, who you hit on last night, I can't believe that I hit on my interviewer!
Well then, I already think I know what kind of person that you are. So I'm going to ask you some formal questions, okay?
What? Yes.
Well then, please tell me your motivations for working here.
And so, my interview began, and Miss Eriko seemed like she was trying to ease my nerves.
I see. I think I understand now. Well then, I'd like to ask you the final question.
Yes, ma'am.
It's an extremely important question, so please answer based on your intuition. If you were to get into a workplace relationship, would you keep it a secret?
What? Is that, sorry, but what kind of question is that?
I know that you are an honest and righteous person already, but on top of that, as someone who wants to work in sales, I'm asking you to better understand your personality.
I'm being tested right now, aren't I? Of course I wouldn't keep it a secret.
And why is that?
Because in your company's employee manual, it states, internal romantic relationships in the company are accepted. However, please maintain a respectful manner. And plus, even if the relationship were to become awkward, we're all adults here, and I don't think that it would affect my job.
I see, understand. Well then, I'd like to end this interview here.
Thank you very much. And so, I was able to stand my ground on my intentions until the very end. On my way home in the train, I remembered the final question of the interview. I bet the correct answer would have been to keep it a secret. For a workplace relationship to work, I knew in my mind that it would be important to maintain secrecy so that nobody else in the office would find out. Well, if I don't pass this interview, then I guess I can give up on a number of things. However, after that, I moved on to a second round interview, and then to the final interview. From the second round, Miss Erika wasn't there, but I somehow made it to the final interview before I could wrap my head around it. And then I received a letter with an employment contract, and I felt like I needed to be pinched. After that, I graduated from college. I signed my contract to start in the sales department of Canon Trading Company from that fall.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Komatsu.
What? Wait a minute. Miss Erika? Miss Ueda? Are you?
I am in charge of Sales Department Division 3. Eriko Ueda. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Not only wishing my interview, I didn't think that she was going to end up as my direct boss. And then, on the night of my first day of work, I was invited out to drinks with Miss Eriko. And then she revealed to me, from the moment she saw me in town hitting on women, she had already known who I was.
I'm sorry. That day, I had just seen a photo of your face on the entry sheet.
Miss Eriko, you're a bad person.
But you were being so serious, hitting on people. So I was wondering what kind of person you are.
So then, did you purposely try to get hit on?
That's right. You can learn a lot about a person by speaking to them, right? And then, I totally liked you, Toru. Oh, but that doesn't mean I showed you mercy in the interview. And I still judged you the same way I would with anyone else.
Really? Well then, the final question that you asked about a workplace relationship...
That's a question that we ask, because it says a lot about a person. 9 out of 10, they answer that they would keep it a secret.
Well then, that must be the right answer.
There is no right answer. As long as that person can explain themselves, then it's fine.
That's how it goes?
That's how it goes.
Well then, Miss Eriko, when you heard my answer, what did you think?
So now you're turning it on me? To be honest, I don't mind either way.
What do you mean by that?
Agreement and acceptance. As long as those two things are properly discussed, anybody that wouldn't do that and choose the rules on their own would definitely be out.
I see. Miss Eriko, as promised, I did pass the interview and enter the company.
You're talking about that promise, right? Of course, that is, if you're okay with me.
Well then, does that mean you'll really go out with me?
Yeah.
Yes! After that, Miss Eriko and I spoke about what to do next, and we decided to keep this relationship a secret for the time being. That's because right now, she was my direct manager, and I had just entered the company as a new hire. My priority was to learn my job first, and I also wanted to be able to hold my own, so that I could proudly say that I was Miss Eriko's boyfriend. And Miss Eriko said that that would be okay for now. And so, I started my job, and the first month flew by. There was a lot of company training, and I slowly began to learn the ropes of my job. Miss Eriko also taught me all kinds of skills and knowledge for the job, and I was able to produce results in my first sales pitch. A job that I wanted to do in the first place, and the presence of Miss Eriko was also very big to me.
Oh, Mr. Komatsu, you want to go get lunch together?
There's a fancy cafe called Alice in front of the train station.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already have plans for lunch today.
Aww.
Aww.
Maybe on another occasion?
He's gone.
Plans, but with who?
Every now and then, I would be invited to lunch by some of the other female employees, but I always refused.
Toru, why don't you go to lunch sometime with some of your other employees?
What?
I heard the girls in the department complaining that every time they invite you, you reject them. Look at you, you're already so popular.
I didn't know that. But I have you, Miss Eriko, and I don't want to do anything that would raise any suspicions with you.
Oh, I may not seem like it, but I am a generous person, you know. I won't tie you down.
That is a scary smile. But I guess it is necessary to spend time with my colleagues.
That's right. It's important to be able to separate the two. Plus, at home, you're always extra nice to me. That's okay.
Hey, you can't talk about that right now.
Oh? All I said was that you gave me a nice massage, that's all.
For the record, I was basically half living at Miss Eriko's apartment already. Well, we are a man and a woman, so all kinds of things happen. All kinds of things. However, I couldn't exactly say that everything was smooth sailing, and one day, an incident occurred.
Oh my, this company.
What's the matter, Miss Ueda?
It's nothing, but...
It looks like something is bothering her. That night, after I finished working overtime, I was heading towards Miss Eriko's apartment when... There she is, Miss Eriko, and... Who's that? Eriko, you're single now, aren't you?
No, I have a proper boyfriend right now.
Whatever, then just break up with him and get back together with me.
No, I refuse! The guy that I'm dating now is a man 1,000,000 times better than you.
Whatever. Well, I'll be back.
Don't come back here ever again.
I could tell that it was a heated situation, but before I could run over there, the guy disappeared. Eriko? Who was that person?
Toru?
I hate to jump to conclusions, but ex-boyfriend?
Do you want to have a drink before we go home tonight?
And so, the two of us headed towards the nearby pub, and according to Miss Eriko, that was her ex-boyfriend. Originally, they started at the company together, and they got along well. But when Miss Eriko was promoted first, she said, the relationship suddenly changed.
He started saying things like women shouldn't be working and should be at home.
Wow, even in this day and age?
He must have really not liked that I was promoted before him. But I really like my current job and my company.
I can tell from watching you. You're always lively at work, and everybody on your team has a lot of trust in you.
Thank you. Why is he suddenly wanting to get back together? What does he want?
Maybe that's just how much she still likes you, Miss Eriko.
No, he's just the type of person that doesn't like it when he doesn't get his way. You know, one of our client companies. The one called Kanemaru Maru.
Yeah, I know that one, but...
He is actually the son of the CEO there. He was originally working at our company, but he quit when I got promoted and he transferred over there. On top of that, our next big client is that company, and he started saying that if I got back together with him, then he would quickly get the CEO's approval.
What does he think a company is? Does he think that it's his own personal toy to play with?
Well, he is going to be the CEO after his father eventually.
I don't hear any good rumors about him, though.
Well, regardless of the situation, he shouldn't be mixing personal and professional like that.
Is there anything that I can do?
I guess nothing right now. I'm sorry to make you worry, Toru.
You don't need to hold back. I'm your boyfriend. You can make me worry anytime.
Yeah, thanks.
After that, we began a business relationship with the company Kanemaru Maru, but I could see that Miss Eriko was struggling. Of course, they also wanted our products, so we couldn't just deny the contract, but...
I have to go on a business dinner with that ex-boyfriend and his colleagues soon.
Will you be okay?
Yeah, I just don't want to go. So I have a favor to ask you.
Of course. If there's anything that I can do, tell me. And Eriko's request was that she wanted me to attend that business dinner. She said that she would be a lot more comfortable if I was nearby. Of course, I didn't think twice and said yes. However, on the day of the business dinner, after we all had a few drinks, the ex-boyfriend started to get very comfortable with Miss Eriko. You know, Eriko and me, we were gonna get married.
Hey,
Oh, come on, I'm just telling people, that's all.
that's not it. That's not true. We were never engaged.
I was planning on just holding it all in. But to be honest, I couldn't stand that ex-boyfriend's attitude. It wasn't just because this was toward Miss Eriko. Even if it wasn't Miss Eriko, I couldn't forgive that attitude no matter what. Excuse me?
Mr. Komatsu?
What do you want? Wait, aren't you a new kid? I believe the point of this dinner is to deepen the business relationship. Yeah, and under the circumstances, I don't believe that you're taking appropriate actions here. That's harassment. What the hell? Who do you think you are? Trying to lecture me when I'm older than you? Are you sure you're okay with that? Our contract with your company depends on me, you know. If you apologize now, then I can forgive that little attitude of yours. I refuse. And also, please, stop being so comfortable and getting so close to my girlfriend. Huh? Girlfriend? Wait a minute, are you? That's hilarious. Just because you're so unpopular with the guys, you laid hands on a new kid? Why are you dating such a useless guy? Just get back together with me. Aren't you so lucky? You can be the CEO's wife. I see. Now I understand. Miss Eriko, let's go.
What? But...
Are you sure about that? If you leave now, I'm gonna scrap the contract with your company. Yes, that's fine. Well then. I took Miss Eriko by the hand, and we walked out of the restaurant.
what do I do about the contract with Kanemaru?
Don't worry about it. Actually, their business is doing pretty poorly.
How do you know about that?
I looked into it. Well, I actually heard a rumor from one of my seniors from my college club. And with what happened today, now I'm sure of it. That was because, for the first time in a while, I spoke to Miss Yamaguchi on the phone yesterday. She had a lot of connections and a really big network in all kinds of places. Just to try, I asked her about the company Kanemaru, and then...
Oh, that company? I heard things are pretty bad right now.
What do you mean by bad?
I heard that the son of the CEO is messing around a lot and that he's really no good, but that the CEO still wants to pass the company on to his son.
But what's so bad about that?
Starting with the vice president, all of the board of directors are against it. But even then, the CEO seems to believe that if his son gets married and he has a household, then he would calm down. So he decided to let his son take after the company under the condition that he gets married. They said that the company is on the verge of a coup d'etat at any minute.
So that ex-boyfriend, he's just trying to use Miss Eriko so that he can become the CEO? Hey, how trustworthy are those rumors?
There are rumors after all. But if you were able to see him, I think you'd be able to get the gist of it.
I had just joined the business meeting today after hearing those rumors, but I wasn't surprised. Just as Miss Yamaguchi had said, not even a week after Miss Eriko and I walked out of that dinner, there was a coup d'etat at the company Kanemaru. The CEO was fired, and apparently the vice president became CEO, which means that Miss Eriko's ex-boyfriend wouldn't be taking after the company. A few days later, the new CEO came to our company to greet us and apologize. Apparently, he heard about the ex-boyfriend's inappropriate actions towards Miss Eriko, so he came directly to her and promised that they would work extra hard with a new company structure, and the contract was re-signed. For the record, both the CEO and his son, the ex-boyfriend, were kicked out of the company. And so, we were able to regain our peace, and 1 year later, on Christmas Day,
I can't believe I'm going to be in my 30s next year. Time flies.
Were you about to say that you wanted to be married by 30?
Yeah, but I'm enjoying my life as it is today. So we don't need to talk about marriage or anything that heavy.
Well then, that's perfect. Eriko, let's get married.
What is this?
If you'd like, Will you please marry me and be my wife? With tears in her eyes, Eriko didn't hesitate to say yes, and I vowed to protect this person and to make her happy for the rest of my life.